People are leaving Loxahatchee, and honestly, if you've lived here for 20 or 30 years, you probably understand why. Traffic is getting worse. The area is changing fast. Some longtime residents feel like the rural lifestyle that they moved here for is disappearing. But at the same time, people are still moving here every single day and paying top dollar for it. So what's really happening here in Loxahatchee? As someone who's lived here for almost 30 years, I want to talk honestly about why some people are leaving and why others still love it, and who should and probably should not move here today. Hi, I'm Linda Brennan, your local realtor here in Palm Beach County, and if you're thinking about moving to Western Palm Beach County, especially Loxahatchee, the Acreage, Westlake, or the surrounding areas, this channel is all about what it's really like to live here. Now, if you moved here many years ago, this place felt completely different. There were hardly any paved roads, very few street lights, no major shopping plazas, no big restaurants, no master planned communities. There wasn't even a gas station out here. A lot of people still had empty lots next door to them, and at night it was dark. You could see the stars forever. It was quiet, you heard nature, not traffic. And honestly, that's exactly why people moved here. They wanted space, freedom, privacy, no HOA, room for animals, room for equipment, room for gardens, and room to breathe. A lot of families moved out here specifically because they wanted to get away from the congestion and the overdevelopment. Now, over the years, things slowly started changing. Roads got paved, then came the grocery stores, shopping plazas, schools, and more development, pushing west. And then probably the biggest turning point was when Calorie Judge orange groves were sold and Westlake, which is Florida's newest city, started being built right in the middle of the Acreage area. And honestly, for a lot of longtime residents, that's when things really started to feel different out here. Now, the Acreage itself is a massive area, roughly 34 square miles, made up mostly of 1.25 acre lots. But there are also 5 acre and even 10 acre parcels throughout the area. And some of that is never going to change. It can't suddenly turn into downtown Miami because the structure was never created for that to happen. There are simply too many individually owned properties spread throughout the area. But what has changed is everything surrounding it. The congestion, the traffic, the commercial development, the construction pace, and honestly, traffic is probably one of the biggest complaints that you hear from locals right now, especially on North Lake Boulevard and Seminole Pratt Whitney Road. And the thing is, the distance themselves really are not that crazy. From Okeechobee Boulevard to North Lake Boulevard, it's really only about 7 miles. And then from Southern Boulevard to North Lake, it's about 9 miles. That doesn't sound that bad on paper, but what locals know is the real issue is the bottlenecks. Twice a day, every day, you have to time your travel wisely because you're dealing with it when you leave and then again when you come home. If there's an accident, sometimes your only option is to literally turn around and drive 7.2 miles in the opposite direction just to get back out to another route. In fact, North Lake traffic has become such a thing locally that it literally has its own Facebook page where people post updates about accidents and backups because sometimes you're just sitting there wondering what's going on. And then of course there's the Grinch of North Lake during Christmas time. He stands out there waving at people who are driving by on North Lake to bring a little humor and a smile to a road that honestly stresses out a lot of people. Seminole Pratt is also going under major construction and expansion right now, but there is some hope coming. So one of the biggest future projects people are watching closely is the State Road 7 extension. Transportation officials and many local residents believe that this could become one of the biggest traffic relief solutions for Western Palm Beach County. The goal is to create another major north to south corridor connecting Okeechobee Boulevard to North Lake Boulevard, helping reduce congestion, improve emergency access, improve hurricane evacuation routes, and hopefully reduce some of the daily traffic affecting residential areas. With the amount of growth happening out west, most people agree that additional infrastructure has to happen because the population here just keeps growing. The acreage itself has over 40,000 residents, depending on how the census areas are measured. And while Westlake is one of the fastest growing cities in Florida, and it continues expanding rapidly. Currently, they are halfway to their goal of 6,500 homes. So growth is not slowing down, and this is where emotions start getting complicated for longtime residents. Because for many people, it's not just about traffic, it's about lifestyle. Some residents feel that the rural lifestyle they originally moved here for is changing. One example of that is the newer restrictions involving semi-trucks and large commercial vehicles being parked on residential acreage properties. For decades, many families who lived out here operated businesses, parked work trucks on larger acre lots, and they lived a more rural lifestyle. But Palm Beach County has now implemented stricter commercial vehicle limitations in many of these residential areas. In fact, the Palm Beach County Board of Commissioners passed a final ordinance that went into effect July 1st, 2024, prohibiting vehicles weighing more than 16,000 pounds from being parked or stored in residential districts. And this has become a really emotional topic locally because on one side of the county, officials argue that rural roads were never designed for heavy truck traffic long term. But on the other side, many residents feel frustrated because while longtime families are now facing restrictions, massive development around the area continues to bring in endless construction traffic, dump trucks, and commercial expansion. So for some residents, it feels like the rules of the lifestyle they originally moved here for are changing. A lot of the people leaving right now are people who have been here the longest. Some of them raised their families here decades ago. Some are retiring, and some simply miss the quieter version of Loxahatchee. A lot of the horse owners are moving towards places like Ocala, Georgia, the Carolinas, places where they've vacationed all these years. The residents who aren't moving to horse communities are often longtime residents who are simply retiring. Maybe they're moving somewhere smaller, newer, or just easier to maintain. Now, let's give the other side of this conversation, because while some longtime residents are leaving, new buyers are still moving here every single day. And many of them absolutely love it. Why? Because compared to where they are coming from, Loxahatchee still feels incredibly rural. If someone is moving from Miami, Broward, New York, New Jersey, or California, this area still feels wide open. They love the land, the space, the privacy, the freedom, and the ability to have animals, gardens, workshops, boats, trailers, and create their own property the way they want to. And they also love that while it still feels rural, it's very close to the beaches, shopping, restaurants, airports, and major communities. Plus, now because some of the newer development nearby, residents also have more dining, retail, healthcare, and shopping options than they used to. So depending on who you are, the changes can actually feel positive. And I think that's one of the things people sometimes misunderstand the most about Loxahatchee. People think it's just random acreage properties spread out everywhere, but it's actually a real community. People look out for each other. If someone's horse gets loose, people help catch it. If a dog goes missing, neighbors are posting notices and helping to search for it. After storms, people bring equipment and help clear properties. If someone breaks down, they stop to help. There's still a very strong community culture out here. We have parades, community events, trivia nights, bingo nights, local restaurants where everybody knows everybody. We have the Acreage Athletic League, the drill team, kids sports, and local riding facilities. There's still a strong sense that people out here look out for each other. And honestly, I think that part will always remain. Now, if someone called me today and asked, should they move to Loxahatchee, I would say you should move here if you want freedom, privacy, land, animals, garden, nature, the ability to create your own little slice of paradise without a homeowners association controlling every detail. You should move here if you like a little bit of country, while still being connected to Palm Beach County. But you probably should not move here if you want nightlife, luxury walkability, heavy amenities, regimented HOA style living, or if you're going to be extremely frustrated by the continued growth happening around the area, because it's growing and it's probably not stopping. So really the question isn't whether Loxahatchee is changing, because it absolutely is. The real question is whether the lifestyle here still fits what you want. And for many people, the answer is yes. Loxahatchee may not feel like it did 30 years ago, but it still offers something that's becoming harder and harder to find in South Florida. Space, freedom, community, and room to live a life a little differently. And honestly, that's why many people still love it and why a lot of residents say that they will never leave. So if you're thinking about moving to Loxahatchee, the Acreage, or anywhere in Western Palm Beach County, feel free to reach out anytime. My team and I would be happy to help you figure out which area fits you the best. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, subscribe, and check back often. I post a new video every week to help keep you informed on what it's really like to live here in Palm Beach County. We'll see you in the next one.